Ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, this is our Sergey Kovalev versus Anthony Yarde post-fight reaction discussion. And this fight happened exactly as I said. Call me the fortune teller. Call me the psychic before you head back to the prediction video. And you see that I told you guys that Kovalev was going to take Anthony Yarde into the later rounds and drown him. That's what I saw happening in this fight. And that is precisely what happened. I also said Anthony Yarde had a fantastic shot of winning this fight. Although I went with Kovalev because of the experience, I said Anthony Yarde had a fantastic opportunity to win this fight. This was a potential crossroads fight, but it was too soon for Anthony Yarde. That was my prediction, and that is precisely what happened, Knuckleheads. If you like to talk about combat sports, click the subscribe button below. Support the channel, comment, like, share, do everything the people with good etiquette on YouTube do, and definitely get you a Fighters Rep shirt, some Fighters Rep gear in the links below, or donate in the links below or to the super chat. But once again, what happened in this fight exactly as I predicted? In my humble opinion, Anthony Yarde is a fantastic fighter, and I do think he'll come back, and I hope he'll learn from the mistake that he made, or the mistakes that he made, and come back better and stronger. But you're going to go into the lion's den, okay? This is my problem with Anthony Yarde's strategy in this fight. As much as I respect him as a fighter, and as much as we must respect Anthony Yarde as a fighter for going over to Chelyabinsk, Russia, to take on Sergey Kovalev, one of the greatest light heavyweights that we've seen in Russia, in his hometown, in his home city. Anthony Yarde with just 18 fights, less than half the experience Sergey Kovalev had, or Sergey, whatever you want to call him, less than half of the experience that Sergey Kovalev had, and he went over to Russia to fight him. You got to respect Anthony Yarde. As a boxing fan, you must respect Anthony Yarde. The guy has got the heart of a lion. He keeps screaming lions in the camp, and I believe it. I believe in lions in the camp. But the mistakes that he made, there were a few of them. One of the big ones, and it wasn't going into hostile territory. That was balls. But one of the big mistakes he made is all that muscle he's got on him. Is all that fast twitch, trying to get it done drills that he's been doing. You cannot go into a boxing match with a guy's experience as Sergey Kovalev, who's going to put a pace on you, with all that muscle on your body, doing all that fast twitch, shoulder roll stuff at light heavyweight. Let me tell you guys again, in case you don't understand. If you're going to be employing that Floyd Mayweather defense and style with the shoulder roll, which means you are going to have to move fast twitch muscles from the hips, shoulders, swinging your body left and right at an extremely high speed. If you want to be flashy and waste all that movement, you better have the conditioning and the pace necessary to keep it up for 12 rounds. Sergey Kovalev is an experienced champion, and Anthony Yarde going in there and being flashy with all that muscle on his body, trying to employ the shoulder roll. I know that's his defensive style, but trying to employ that with all that muscle on his body was a mistake, in my opinion. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot go in there with an experienced champion in Kovalev, 36 years old, knowing that he's got to pace himself, fighting in a traditional style where he's not wasting movement. You can't go in there and waste all the energy Anthony Yarde had wasted in that fight. Additionally, Andre Ward, one of the greatest boxers of all time, who fought 2 fights with Kovalev and beat him twice, even though I thought the first fight he lost, but beat him twice. The second time, stopping him to the body, laid out the blueprint for you. And you refused to look at that blueprint, analyze the blueprint, interpret the blueprint, and apply it for your own victory. Why Anthony Yarde did not fight on the inside and go to the body more, knuckleheads, I have no clue. This is not to knock Anthony Yarde. I can't knock him too hard. You know, he's got a fantastic style, an exciting style. Most of all, he's got fantastic heart. This man did not come to lose. This man came to win. And I respect him again for going into somebody else's backyard. And I respect this fight because it's one of the rare gems we get in boxing where you get two guys that are capable of beating each other. But what was he thinking in totally ignoring the blueprint that one of the greatest boxers of all time had set up for him in beating Sergey Kovalev? And that's going to the body. And when he did go to the body, knuckleheads, in the 8th round, he almost finished Sergey Kovalev. And that was his downfall in that 8th round. When he went for it, he saw he hurt Sergey Kovalev. It was body blows followed by shots to the head. The body blows set up the shots to the head. It was the only time seemingly in the fight he was going to the body. He was investing work into the body and then mixing it up to the head. He hurt Kovalev bad. He had him on Queer Street, and then he just couldn't finish him. He couldn't finish him because he didn't go to the body enough throughout the fight. He didn't have the cardiovascular strength, despite all those muscles, which were all sucking the oxygen and blood out of his heart and out of his body. He didn't have the cardiovascular to finish Sergey Kovalev in that 8th round. And that shit is going to haunt him. It's going to haunt him for the rest of his career. And I love watching him fight, and I think he's going to be back, and I really hope he learns from this, and I really enjoy his coach, Tunde Ajayi. I think the guy's exciting and humble, and I think they're a humble group of guys, and I think they're fantastic fighters, and I want to see Anthony Yarde become a champion. And afterwards, Sergey Kovalev even told him, you're 100% going to be a champion, and what I thought was an incredible display of sportsmanship. But you cannot go into another fight without working on that cardio, learning how to pace yourself, and using the knowledge that's out there to your advantage. Knuckleheads, that's all I have about this fight. I don't know what more to say, but we must respect Anthony Yarde. He made some mistakes. He's only got 18 fights, now 19. He's a young man, 28 years old versus the 36-year-old veteran Kovalev. You do have to cut him some slack. But at the same time, there were some glaring things in this fight, some issues that came to a head that need to be addressed. There's no need to lift weights. The GOAT, or one of the GOATs, Andre Ward, said, instead of building up your body, and he said this talking about Anthony Joshua, instead of building up your body, work on your craft. And I think that if Anthony Yarde works on his craft, the power's there, the heart is there, the speed is there, it's not going to go anywhere. Work on your craft. Let your body go back to normal and not all this muscly crap, and you are going to be a force to reckon with. Knuckleheads, that's all I got. Let me see what we got in the chat right now. We got Don El Vergudo. Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you joining the chat. He's saying, well, mis panas, ya ustedes saben, ya llegó el alien a Fighters Rep. Okay, which means, hey, my friends, you all already know the alien has arrived. He's just announcing himself to the chat. John Wick, hey, man, thought I'd say, hey, about to watch that replay. Have a good night. John, thank you so much for joining the chat. You have a good night, too. I think you're going to see the fight go pretty much 100% as I predicted. Still, fantastic job by Anthony Yarde, but he needs to study his opponents a little bit better, and he needs to work on getting his body back to normal. You could tell he's lifting too many weights, and I don't like it Maybe people will disagree with me, but I just don't like it. I want to see the man succeed, and I don't think lifting weights helped him in this fight. Don Elvergudo saying, man, you're going to go to sleep this early. I don't even know who. Oh, he must be referring to John Wick. Don, thank you so much again for joining the chat. And, you know, that's all we got in the chat right now. It's a little bit late on the fight. It was aired at 12:30 Eastern, which is 9:30 in the morning my time. Typically, I'm busy in the mornings at that time. I couldn't get to it immediately, but here it is. Leave your comments. Tell me if I'm crazy. Tell me if you agree with me. Tell me what you think Anthony Yarde should have done, what he should do on his way back. I look forward to hearing what you have to say, and be sure to subscribe below. Click the links. Support the game. September 21st, we're back with Fighters Rep 8 Gorillas live from Seal Beach, California. If you're anywhere near Los Angeles or Orange County, or even further, get yourself some tickets below and get yourself some merch. Have a good night, knuckleheads.